Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy communication. Do you think, or do you ever find yourself thinking, communication is driving me nuts? It could always be better. I mean, we have to face it whenever. And I talk to a lot of new leaders, a lot of teams. We do a lot of workshops. A lot of the workshop requests are around communication. We need to communicate better. Communication doesn't work. It happens, but it breaks. I mean, wow, the instances of communication that happen each and every day. And if you count the communication breakdowns that happens during the day, I think, I don't know, sometimes we don't have enough fingers to count on. So I wanted to start here and let me know, are communication breakdowns happening? Or because usually what we say is, yeah, well, we communicate. Of course we communicate. Yeah, absolutely. Even when we don't want to communicate, we communicate, right? Because when I don't want to communicate, I actually communicate to you that I don't want to communicate. That's a communication. But what I want to talk about today is, first of all, what does it mean when we say communication? There are some elements to it. And yes, we can talk about communication for days. And actually, in a communication workshop, you go through all of the stages and the steps and all of the elements and everything. And then it starts to make sense. But what I find is when we talk about communication, we all have different ideas and different definitions of it. So think about it this way: communication happens when, first of all, I have a thought, I'm thinking about something, and I'm thinking about delivering that message to you. And so I have to take the thought, because you're not going to be able to read my mind, and encode that and create that language that allows me to send that message across to you. So that's me as the sender of the communication. Now, if I talk to myself, communication doesn't happen. If nobody hears what I have to say, is it really communication? So I need to actually be talking to somebody. And me as the sender of that message, it's my responsibility to send that message the best way I can to ensure that you're actually going to get the message the way I mean to send it across, with the meaning that I assign to it, right? And what happens is I'm going to take all of my experiences, all of my values, all of my beliefs, everything that's underneath the surface to be able to express that message, because I will express my message from my point of view all the time. I can't express a message from somebody else's point of view. We all do that. We use our own point of view. And with our own point of view come all of the past experiences, all of the values, all of the beliefs, everything that we are. So it's my responsibility to make sure that you understand what I mean. And then you listen to my message. And it's not, okay, you're taking the words and you understand what I'm saying. But what happens is you're also going to interpret the message based on, you guessed, your values, your beliefs, your past experiences, everything that goes on underneath the surface in your world. And you are going to assign a meaning to what I just said based on who you are, based on your perspective, not on mine. And okay, stop here. If we stop here, does communication really take place? I say something to you, you pretend you're listening to me. So you don't say anything, you just listen to what I have to say, and then that's it. Does communication really happen in this case? Yes, no, perhaps, no, not really. Because what happens is, we're, I have a monologue And you might be having a monologue in your own head as you're pretending that you're listening to me. Okay. So, what does need to happen? And I talk to a lot of leaders. If you're frustrated that your people don't get it, if you work in a team right now and you feel nobody gets me, nobody gets me, what is it? What is it that they don't get? And what is it that doesn't happen? Because if I just speak and you just listen, that's not enough for communication to happen. Because a lot of assumptions are happening in that particular listening part. Because I come and I listen from my own experience and with my own knowledge. So there might be some stuff that I'm assuming because that's how I see things that might not necessarily be what you meant. So unless I'm clarifying, we don't know that communication really happened successfully. How can we clarify? Feedback. I can't stress this enough. Like feedback. And feedback happens in communication, and it has to happen in communication all the time. And it can be something as simple as asking a question. Oh, so you said this. Do you mean that? And then that helps clarify. That lets me understand this is what you got out of my message. And it could be right, it could be wrong, or it could be completely different from what I ever meant to say. And that's when the other person says, oh, no, 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 that's not what I meant at all. Or they say, yes, that's exactly what I meant. If we spent more time clarifying rather than assuming, we'd be so much happier. We would be living in a different kind of world. And let me tell you, let me give you an example. And this is what I discussed with somebody just an hour ago in an interview. And how many times does this happen to you? You're talking, you have a team meeting, and this is especially crucial right now for hybrid teams because we don't get to see each other face to face all the time, right? We're on and off, and we need to make sure that we're clarifying. That's such an important bit of the communication. When I say, okay, we need to do this, this, and that, ASAP, what does ASAP mean? To me, it might mean by the end of the day. To you, it might mean by the end of the month, because that's the best date available. That's what's possible. So by ASAP, do you mean what day, what time? What do we mean by that? Clarify. Don't assume. Or you need to do this. Okay, I start working. I do that. I deliver it to you, and you say, that's not what I asked for. And I'm like, yeah, this is what you said in the meeting yesterday. And you're going to say, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I said. That's not what I meant. And then we spend a lot. How much time do we spend and do we waste working on stuff that's not clear, or arguing what it is that you said and what it is that you didn't say a couple of weeks later, when I could have clarified it right then in that meeting? Don't allow this kind of surprises. The less surprises that happen in communication, the less communication breakdowns you're going to have. The more you clarify, the more the easier it gets, and you're not going to waste time on managing conflict, because conflict doesn't even exist. You don't even have an issue because you clarified it before it became an issue and way before it became a conflict. Start clarifying. Stop assuming. That's crucial for team communication right now, especially for hybrid work. Don't let your people be surprised. Don't let them surprise you unless it's a nice surprise. But you want to know, you want to be in a constant communication. And in this constant communication loop, do not forget to include the feedback, because otherwise you don't have communication. You only have completely parallel monologues. All right. That's what I had to say. And that's what I have to say about that. So stay tuned. For those of you who are leading teams, who are leading hybrid teams, join me. You have the link to the upcoming live workshop, which is all about how to lead a hybrid team. And it's going to be, how to lead a hybrid team. It's going to be on the 28th and to 30th of September. And we have 3 days of half-hour sessions um, every day. And what we're going to talk about are some solutions for you that you can use in leading your hybrid team right now. We're going to go through things that you need to look at, things that you need to watch out for, how you can plan, how you can strategize, how you can communicate more effectively, and some solutions for you. So we have 3 days in bite size. Click the link in the description and join live. The minute you register, you also get the opportunity to get free access to some really good leadership resources before the workshop. And then if you have any questions or any challenges that you want to discuss during the workshop, you also get the chance to ask me that question before so I can address it then. So see you on the 20th to 30th of September, 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Click the link to register. Let me know your questions. Get your leadership resources. Learn different, lead different. See you soon. Bye for now.